Alrighty, artists, what we are going to learn today is how to put a photo inside of your text on Pixlr.com. If we look at this example here on your instructions page, this is the one I'll be showing you how to make today. You get to select the words that you would like to put within your digital art. I chose the word mountains, and I chose this image from Pixabay to show through the background of the mountain peak here. So if we follow our instructions here, we are going to go to Pixlr.com to start. And we are going to click Pixlr E, the advanced photo editor, as usual. And we are going to go over to the left side and click Create New. And you can title this your text and image project. And I'm just going to have you guys also put your last name on there too. So I'll write Stolke on there. I'm going to leave the width and height as is. Right now my width is 1920 and height is 1080. That'll work out just fine. And click Create. Once you get here, you can actually add the color that you want in your background right away. So I'm just going to go over to my left toolbar and click the Fill tool. And I need to change the color by going to the color swatch and choosing the color I want for my background here. So I can go anywhere on the rainbow here, and I just want black, so I'm going to drag this little circle all the way down to the bottom left and click OK. And if I click the background, that should fill it with the color that you'd like. So I pretty much have that step done, and at this point what I'm going to do is add the main word as a part of my quote here. So I'm just going to put in mountains for right now. And if I go back to Pixlr, I'm going to click the big letter T, that is your text tool. So I'm just going to click right in the middle. If it asks you, do you want to add a new text layer, you click Add. And you should see a text box pops up. So you'll have to type in your word. I'm doing mountains, and right now I can't see it because it's on a black background. So I need to go up here to Fill and change it to something a little more bright so I can see it. Doesn't really matter what color you choose as long as you can see it against your background, because we're going to fill it in with an image anyway. So at that point I can then go up to Font and select the style. And you want to select a style that's bold. And the main reason for that is if we choose a really fine font that's really thin, we won't be able to see as much of the image come through. So choose something bolder and with bigger letters, like this one here would work. And I am going to edit the size right away as well. Make that bigger. Right about here looks pretty good, so it fills up most of the page. And I'm just going to center that really quickly. You can see that those little pink lines pop up when I have something perfectly centered. So that's really nice. We go back to our instruction sheet here. On the layer panel, you just want to make sure you have the text layer picked, and we're going to rasterize the layer. So when we go back here, make sure you have the mountain layer selected or the text layer selected. And you're going to click Layer up on the top and Rasterize Layer. And you'll see that that goes through. At this point, we want to further change the size a little bit more. So we are going to click Edit Retransform in order to change the size of this to be even bigger than it already is. So if I go to Edit Retransform, my blue little boxes pop up, and now I can edit the size more freely. So I'm going to make that almost as big as I can in the middle here. So it's looking okay. And the nice thing about this is I can extend the height of my letters too. So make that, that's a pretty good size here. I'm going to center that again, at least close to center. It's looking pretty good. And click Apply once I'm all set. Good, good. And the next step here is going to be merging the layers together. So when we go to our layer panel, you want to right click the layer that you have the words on. And you'll see down here that there's little arrows and lines. You want to click the merge down option. And that will merge the two layers together. Our next step here is on the top toolbar, clicking layer and getting our image. So you'll need to make sure you have your image saved. I have a photo of the mountains saved right now, so I'm going to click layer, add image as layer. And then you need to find the image that you're using to go behind your text. So I have this mountain layer here, and I'll click open once I found it. And what I'm actually going to do here so that I can really see where the mountains fall in the letters is I'm going to go over to the mountain photo. I'm going to right click and change the transparency so I can see the text through it a little bit. That way I know exactly where the mountain is going to fall in comparison to the text. I can then make this bigger. As big as the letters, hopefully, here. It's looking pretty good, and I want to see the peak in the letter N. So I'm going to bring that down to about here for now, I think. Do I want more of the mountains showing? I'll probably try this out here. Looks pretty good. So now you can see exactly where that will fall. It's kind of nice here. So we already really changed the photo size. You can always click Edit Retransform if you want to change that size again. But the next step here is we are going to, on the layer panel, drag the text layer above the picture so that it's first in line. So over here on your layer panel, I have my words. I am going to drag that so it's on the top. It's really important, so now my image is below it. And what we want to do at this point is actually remove the inside of the text so that that image now shows through. So we need to make sure that we are on the wand select tool on Pixlr. So we're going to go over here and find the one that looks like a little magic wand called the wand select. I'm going to click my first letter and you'll see it highlights the letter M. Then what I need to do is hold down Shift and click every single letter, making sure I have Shift clicked down that whole time, and you'll see all my letters are now highlighted. I can release Shift, and then three options here. You can click backspace on your keyboard or delete in order to get rid of the letters, or I can go up to edit and click clear. And what you'll see is now that image suddenly shows through because you have now deleted the text there. So really, really simple process here. The next step that we're going to do is actually bring the transparency of this photo back so it's really nice and bright. So if we go to our layer panel, we can right click and then bump that transparency back up to 100. And you'll see that my image is just as bright as it was when I first put it in here. So at that point, you've successfully completed putting the image inside the text here. So from this point on, if I were to do a quote, right now I only have one word, I could go in and add more text here. So you'll see in my example that I have the mountains are calling, I must go. Now I can go in and add the rest of my text using the text tool by, again, clicking that letter T. I can then add text again and say, type in the, make sure that that font is something that I can read. So I might try something like white, and I need to move that up to the top. So it's on top of my mountain word here. Can change the style of this. A little bit of fun with that. We'll try barely. And then I'm going to click text again to add another text layer. The mountains are calling. And again, change the color of that to white. Make sure that's selected. We can move that down here. And I kind of like it overlapping. It's pretty good. Make sure this is all centered. I think I like it centered. And now I can add in my last layer of text. I must go, which is the last part of my quote. I might try maybe like an orange color for this, or red. Let's see what looks good. Looks kind of cool. Drag that down to the bottom. And now I have a really cool digital art piece. I can also crop the edges. Let's say I want this to be a little bit more narrow and shorter. I can go over to the left toolbar, click the crop tool, and I can make that smaller if I want. So that'll be my last step here, and then I need to make sure I click apply up at the top, and now I have my cropped image. So it's looking really good. And again, have fun with the quote and the word that you use. It's really up to you what you'd like to do for this project. So always make sure that you save everything when you're done. So click File, Save. Make sure your last name and the title is included in here. So I have text and image project, Stalky, and then I can save it as a JPG when I'm finished. Click download, and that should save right to your drive if you're on a Chromebook. So I can go in and open that, and I have my complete process all finished.